So why so many cameras? You just graduated from polytechnic or you just ORD'd. You seek to get a degree, but you are not sure how to maximize your chances. Well, let me give you a quick guide to ensure that you get a university in Singapore. If you don't wish to listen to my explanations, you can always skip ahead to the timestamp right there for the summary. Alright, so for the rest of you, you can listen to my explanations. So there are many universities out there you can apply for, be it you are considering a local university, overseas university, or private university. In terms of local universities, there are total of 6 autonomous universities that is recognized in Singapore. They are the National University of Singapore, NUS, Nanyang Technology University, NTU, Singapore Management University, SMU, Singapore University of Technology and Design, SUTD, Singapore Institute of Technology, SIT, and last but not least, Singapore University of Social Sciences, SUSS. Okay, so first and foremost, what is your GPA? If your GPA is below 3.5, just forget about NTU and NUS because they are very competitive and you stand no chance there. Alright, so next, how is your financial situation? If you're considering overseas university, you have to remember that you are not paying only the school fees, which tend to be almost double compared to applying to a local university where you can get a subsidized rate, but you also must pay for your accommodations, which if you are staying for years, you will really add up the cost very, very quickly. Next, do you have a niche you want to pursue? You can consider SMU if you are into business related courses, SUTD if you are into the designing related courses, and SUSS if you want to enter law related courses. And if you are into art, you may consider the publicly funded private universities such as LaSalle and NAFA. Next, is your GPA above 2.7? You may consider SIT as it has a broad choice to choose from. If your answers from the previous questions are all no, well, it is time to find work and get experience, my friend. I found out that by having 2 years of work experience minimum, SIT will often overlook your GPA to find out whether if you are motivated or eager to study hard and not dropping out very easily. But of course, there are exceptions here in SIT. First, is the course very popular? Those with double degrees tend to have plenty of people trying to apply for the course, especially those who are collaborating with other universities such as University of Newcastle and University of Glasgow. Secondly, is your course new? There are courses, if you read, they sounded new, but they are actually more of a rebranding from their previous course name. So like for example, there is a course in SIT you may find which called Engineering Systems, which used to call themselves Sustainable Infrastructure Engineering Land. They they may claim that they get people with 2.4 GPA. It really depends on the demand of the course. So there are some courses that are broken up into 2 different courses. For example, my course, Robotic Systems, was from a course called System Engineering, Electromechanical Systems, which was split into two courses within my course and the Megatronic systems. So basically, this means that the course is considered a brand new course, and I was the pioneer batch, or the first batch to study for that course. So in short, if the course is the first batch, you will have even higher chance of entering, as many people tend to avoid uncertainty or they just never heard of it before. And really, uncertainty is really the name of the game once you enter the course. Like, the modules will really chop and change at will, as it is a new and they may not be finalized to the course structure. So if you really want to go to any university regardless of the course that you want to study, that is really the meta to enter, provided that you are able to stay in the course. Speaking of staying in course, if you are really considering to join DigiPen courses, my advice, just don't. It is due to the fact that their passing standard is on average 60% compared to the SIT standard, which is only 40%. Therefore, the odds of you dropping out is way higher compared to the standard SIT courses, and you will be back here again to square one. Alright, so to summarize everything, if your GPA 3.5 and below, avoid NUS, NTU. Got money? Consider overseas. You got a niche that you want to go to? Try an SMU, SUSS, SUTD, NAFA, or LaSalle. Your GPA lower than 2.7? Go get 2 years work or experience, or try your luck with a newly formed course that is not a double degree. For me personally, I have a GPA of 2.6973, applied to various courses and university, and I have been trying to apply everywhere since I graduated from my final year of polytechnic till I ORD'd, until I have started working full time. It was until I have worked for 2 years exactly, suddenly I received not only one but two courses call me for the interview. And when you get the call from an interview, always, always prepare. If you are uncomfortable with the coding question, regardless of what course you are applying for, remember to remove any traces of your additional certification that you may have taken back then, regardless from whatever places that you got it from, because those certification may trigger the coding questions. I made that mistake by getting those coding questions, even though I was actually applying for a mechanical course. This is only due to the fact that they saw my Python certification with Excel, which is literally just using an Excel sheet and you just copy paste certain codes and it works. And it was like completely unintentional, and because of that the interview went off very, very quickly. I botched the entire interview because they keep on insisting that I answered multiple Python questions which I have no clue about. However, because I had two calls from an interview, I was fortunate enough to avoid the same mistakes when that interview came. Yeah, and if you are able to avoid all obstacles, then congratulations, you are set to go to university. Well, if all fails, there is always an option to go to private degree that you can consider, such as Kaplan, MDIS, MPSB Academy. Most of them, or all of them, tend to only last up to 2 years, as they completely remove the internship component in the degree. By having a private degree, you may put yourself in a disadvantage to those who have the more prestigious university. So because of that, you may consider work first, then after that get a sponsorship from your company to further your studies, or you can also try a part-time degree which can be very exhausting, especially when you are still working, but it's still doable. Yeah, so I have rambled way too much, and I wish all the best to all of my fellow diploma holders. So, adios.